Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mark Bell's Power Project podcast, hosted by Mark Bell, co-hosted by Nsima Inyang, and myself, Andrew Zaragoza. This episode is recorded on June 16th, and it is with the man, Grant Cardone. We are really excited to finally have Grant on. He and Mark have been going back and forth for a long time now, so it's really cool to finally get Grant on. And today we talked a lot. I mean, I had some serious questions about, his theories on don't live in the house that you own. Instead, you should rent. It kind of goes against everything that I've ever known. But then again, after talking to Robert Kiyosaki, I actually don't know much about finances anyways, because it's not taught to us, right? So it was really cool getting his views and, his theory behind all of that. And it makes a lot of sense. So I'm really excited for you guys to check out today's episode. We also talked about his drug addictions early on and how he was able to overcome those. And then Mark straight up asked him, hey, how can I make more money? A really informative episode, a lot of value in today's episode. I hope you guys appreciate it. I know we did. So thank you again, Grant, for taking the time to be on our show. Real quick, again, markbell.com is still offering a free 30-day trial. Right now, when you go to markbell.com, sign up, you'll gain access to the entire website for 30 days for absolutely nothing. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is register, and you'll gain access to the paid site and the premium section of markbell.com, where you can actually put up points on a scoreboard. It's an awesome motivational tool. It's an awesome way to keep you accountable and keep you coming back for more. Again, that's 100% free. That's at markbell.com. All you have to do is register before the end of June, though. That's the only catch. Got to do it before the end of the month, because after that, the 30-day trial is gone. So again, markbell.com, register, take advantage of that right now, and enjoy some awesome workouts, especially now that everyone's gyms are starting to open up. But of course, there's definitely still modifications that you guys can do in case your gym isn't open quite yet. Anyways, that's it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy this episode with the one and only Grant Cardone. What's going on today, fellas?
We got Grant Cardone on the podcast today. We're going to be 10Xing it today.
Yeah.
Should be really cool to ask him questions about credit cards, cars, houses, what to do with all these things, what to buy, what to rent. Because I know he doesn't seem like he's a fan of buying a house, but most people, traditionally people are like, that's the whole thing that you need to do when you're an adult, buy a house. They say it's a great investment, but most people I don't think really ever own their house, because it's like you got to pay it off forever.
Yeah.
For a long ass time.
Freaking 30-year loans and all of this. It's like, and you usually don't pay it off within that time period anyway. Yeah,
and imagine if you had a couple of kids. You might live in a bigger home for a while, and then there's really no reason to live in a bigger house, when it's eventually just you and your wife, right? So all of that's kind of interesting too, because how long would you live in a bigger house for anyway? I don't know. So it'd be good to talk to him about it and see what makes the most sense. I know he's a huge fan of real estate, though. So I don't think he's a huge fan of buying a home for yourself, but I think he's a huge fan of buying other homes that could house other people, potentially.
I'm a huge fan of certified Piedmontese. How about you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I had 3 burgers yesterday on my way to Sushi. I stopped at home and had 3 of the Piedmontese burgers, because I know I love sushi, but it's usually you can fill up on sushi, but then 5 seconds later you're still hungry. So I wanted to go in there with some of that protein. So I smashed 3 of their burgers. Their burgers are amazing. I know we talk them up all the time, but they're damn good.
I'm actually going to make some of those today. This is going to be the first time I think I'm going to make their burgers with no bun. I know you've been going the bunless route, right? Yeah, but today I'm just going to do patty, cheese, patty, cheese, patty.
Yeah, you'll like it, dude.
Cheese, too. Some ketchup. Just barbecue sauce. Their patties are dope. I know.
Must be something in there, because I had 2 yesterday, 2 of the bigger patties. And I kept trying to give Stephanie more, because I seen she had a big old salad, and I'm like, hey, how about a little bit more protein, huh? And of course they're so big though, she can get through half of one, and then that's it.
I never understand that.
Yeah, me neither.
You're still an adult. Like one.
Well, she is little, but
she is.
But they
tell
are.
her to man up.
I know, right?
Let's go, Steph. Come on.
I think they're like quarter pound, the big ones. I'm not sure. Whatever they are, those ones are actually pretty damn filling. But they're on an H&L. They taste different. In my opinion, they taste a little bit different. Definitely use the smoker for sure. But you tried it out of the air fryer. How did that come out?
It was pretty decent. It was surprisingly good.
Some people cook burgers in the oven sometimes.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Yeah, sounds weird, but
it's still kind of the same. I mean, the air fryer is similar.
Yeah.
So
anyway, all right. For more information on Piedmontese, please head over to Piedmontese.com. That's PIEDMONTESE.com. At checkout, enter promo code Power Project for 25% off your order. And if your order is $99 or more, you get free 2-day shipping. Bam.
A good thing to put on those burgers is some of that real salt, the seasoned salt. That stuff's really good. And then yesterday, I put some cheese on the burger along with some garlic salt, and that was amazing. That's just so simple. You ain't got to do much to those burgers to make them yummy.
Yeah, they're definitely juicy, very juicy. But yeah, I haven't eaten one steak from them in a long time. It's always 2 steaks.
Just 2 in a row?
It's just like 2 at the same time.
You're so fat.
Just overachieving.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of sushi you're eating where you don't get full. But
well, no, I did get. I mean, I do get full on it, but then like I don't know why. But I think a little while later, I'm usually kind of hungry.
Okay.
I kind of knew going in getting that protein. I try not to eat too many of the rolls. I try not to have too much of the sauce and all the other stuff on there. I try to be good with it, but
it's literally a 40-year-old minimum for me, or 40, little thing.
Yeah. You got to have, I mean, the rice alone will catch up with you. But I think, sushi, I think a lot of times people get hungry after sushi because they'll say like, oh, doesn't seem like you're very satiated. And I think it just has to do with the speed at which you eat it. I think you just eat it fast.
You can't eat it slow.
Yeah, that fish too, it just goes down easy. There's not a lot of, it's not like eating a steak or a piece of chicken breast. You got to really bite that shit.
Yeah.
And chew it up a lot.
What was the rolls that you had ordered for us at McCuney's at one time? I mean, that was when like I had no, like I was like, no, I don't eat sushi. And Mark's like, no, just try this. I don't remember what it was, but that changed the game for me.
I don't remember, but McCooney is amazing. That place is fucking awesome. A lot of times we get Pimp My Roll is really good, but you need to like know. Like when someone's new to trying to have sushi, rolls are a really good place to start because, especially I usually get them with a soy wrap rather than the, I don't like the seaweed because it's like, I don't know, it doesn't fit in there very good. It's like hard to pull it apart. Like it's hard to chew it. So I usually just get it with something, a different style of wrap. But anyway, yeah, you got to get, getting people used to, sushi. You got to start out with something really benign, like a spicy tuna roll or something like that. You want to try to stay away from the fishier stuff.
Yes.
Don't get somebody some like raw eel or something. It's not going to go over well. You're going to have a tough time. Even just the look of it, right?
Yeah.
Just the look of it will scare you away.
Is Grant, how long till we get Grant on?
He should be coming on in a couple of minutes.
Momentarily.
Yeah, momentarily.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I remember I listened to his audiobook back in, I think it was 2014 or 15. Yeah, it's been a bit. I should go through it again because I remember after I listened to that book, I really, really liked it. That 10X rule book. It was really, really damn good. And then, yeah.
He runs crazy events. I think he might have sold out like Dallas Stadium or whatever where the Cowboys play.
Yeah, he's like Tony Robbins, Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets big people at his events.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
He's a beast.
So what is the 10X? It's 10X rule? Is that what he said?
Yeah, the 10X rule. I mean, I listened to it like 5 years, but from what I remember, the book's just about doing certain things to speed up the growth of your business in a much shorter amount of time. So there were a lot of really good concepts in that book, like figuring out like why, pretty much I think one of the primary questions of the book is something that you want to do 10 years from now. How can you do that a year from now? And then it gives you ways of thinking in terms of, what you do. So you can, instead of like having that be a 10-year goal, that should be a goal that you can do in like 1 or 2 years.
He talks a lot about how people can do a lot more than what they're currently doing. How you can make a lot more money. He said some people, they don't, give money away to charity. He's like, why don't they do that? He said, because they just don't earn enough. They don't expand enough. They don't grow enough. They don't work enough. They don't, so he's really about adding, more and more to your plate, probably until you explode. But he also talked about like working for 18-hour days for 30 years straight, just being completely obsessed with it. So he's somebody that's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
Yeah. How would somebody, I guess somebody with a family wouldn't be able to balance that then? Yeah,
it's a good question. Really good question for him.
It all depends on your dynamic though, too. Certain people with families, like if there's someone who has to work 18 hours, sometimes the family is cognizant of that, I
think his wife's very involved. So I think that that's how that works. I think a lot of times people, someone like Kevin Hart, when he was on Joe Rogan, he talked a lot about that, how he's not around enough. And even like he wasn't happy with the fact he wasn't around as much as he wanted to be. And he talked about how to balance it out. And then he, with COVID and those different things kind of helped him recognize that, he's really just hustling and shuffling everybody around, but he could probably do it in a slightly better way.
Yeah.
Because he would travel and he'd like bring the kids with him. And he was like, well, this is spending time with the kids, but then he's still working. And
makes you wonder though, like,
can't be in two places at once.
Could you do that? Like, could he have done that in a better way without, like, could he be where he is right now without all those years of having to kind of neglect a little bit for that? Who knows?
I think that you have to say yes a lot, when you're newer. And I mean, he talked about doing 14 shows in like 6 days or something, or 7 days, doing two shows every day for like a whole week or something like that. That's got to crush you.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough.
Well, they kept selling out. So he's like, add another show, add another one. They keep selling out. That was a really great episode, by the way. Thanks for the recommendation. I definitely loved the fact that he was, saying like, oh, we got to go, whatever. We'll be off 3 days and then go work 3 months or whatever he said. Like, and then I realized like, wait, that's not the way to do it. Like kind of, the accident and stuff made him have a different perspective. So, but I think you're right. I think you do need to go through that process of like crushing it for, sacrificing a lot to be able to get over that hump, to be like, okay, I actually can kind of downshift a little bit and still keep progressing. The
other thing is too, if you're a good parent, your kids shouldn't need you as much either. So especially if your children are older, if they're still like under the age of 5, then it kind of sucks because you don't need to necessarily be there because they might not even remember, but you need to be there because they'll remember. They might not like physically remember, like you weren't there for me when I was 5, but like there'll be some little chunk of neglect in their head probably.
Yeah.
That you don't want to test those waters.
Dang. Kids.
Yeah, they're tough, man. Grant Cardone stays in good shape too.
He does. He's actually really jacked.
Yeah, he stays fit. He's got some biceps on him. I mean, he stays lean. I saw like during quarantine and stuff, he was like doing some pull-ups and things like that. So
he was a pro baseball player.
Yeah.
That's something that surprised me. I didn't realize that. Like, and they're in shape. Those guys are in crazy shape. So I wonder, does he have kids?
He does. Yeah, he has at least 2 kids, I think. I'm not sure if he's got more than that, but yeah, trying to figure out, your work, that's always a question people have, the work-life balance, but it just depends on how you do it. If you're someone like Kevin Hart and the kids know that you travel and you bring them with you every time you go somewhere, and you do so from the time they're really little. And yes, you might be away, and when you go to a trip to Miami or something like that, and you're having a good time with the family, that there might be a couple days that you're the one person that has to bow out here and there. But I think the family probably understands. I would say that your kids, might get resentful at certain ages, but then they'll also come back down to earth and just be like, well, Dad was out there. That's why we have all this opportunity, and that's why we have all these cool things.
Yeah. I wonder if even when you mentioned the work-life balance thing, I wonder if for Grant, because he obviously works a lot, but is, some people what they do is kind of enjoyable to them. So I wonder if he looks at it like, you know, freaking exhausting work, or, I mean, it's obviously a lot and obviously makes him tired, but does he enjoy what he does so much that it counteracts like the amount of work that he has to do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I think he just loves being successful. I think he loves being able to, and I think he judges that by how he's able to multiply things. You know, I think I heard him talk about how he didn't have any money when he was like 25, because for like 10 years he was addicted to drugs. And then he shifted gears and started working. And then he, at like 45, he was worth like $10-15 million or something like that. And he got kind of complacent. He was like, I'm doing shit. I'm doing way better than everybody else. You know, so he just kind of chilled there for a little while. And then he just realized, oh, I could do way more than this. And he got around other people that were doing more than him.
Yeah.
And he was like, how are they doing more than me? Like, I'm doing pretty good. And then he realized they're just wanting it. They're working for it.
Yeah, that always like interests me as well. You know, like when I see you, it's like, okay, yeah, you've made it, we'll say, but then you're still pushing forward. And it's like, at what point do you like kind of, I don't know, take a seat and look around and be like, damn, that was pretty cool. You know, and then so someone like Grant to be in a millionaire, to be like, shit, I need to work a little bit harder. It's like, damn. I mean, I guess that's kind of what separates, you know, those people from everybody else. But, you know, because like you hear people about like, even when it comes to a diet, you know, like when do I get that cheat day? Or like, when do I get to...
Yeah, your diet's never over.
Yeah, so I guess that makes...
Yeah, business is an infinite game. And so is social media. And that's a thing I think that people need to recognize when they're on social media. Like, what is the end game of this? There's not one. You know, there's not an end game to it. It's goes on forever.
Yeah.
And when you recognize that, then maybe you can ease up on how much time you spend on there, since you can recognize like, hey, this is probably going to go on for the next decade or so. At least, I mean, it'll come and go, you know, come and go in different waves, and there'll be different forms of social media. But the same thing with your business, just knowing that your business is going to be around, like, hey, let's just make this business like, you know, we're coming up on a 10th year anniversary of Slingshot. Like, let's make this business something that's here for a long time. And when the people come in here and we have employees in here, let's treat them well. Let's treat them at least well enough to where they're not like always looking around being like, I need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
You know, pay people well enough, treat people well enough. We try to allow people to be kind of like their own entrepreneurs within the facility. Sandro, yesterday, when he was snapping some pictures, he was like, man, he goes, I just love working here. And the same thing happened with Carlos when he started. Both guys were like, I think I want to be kind of part-time. I'm like, you're toast, buddy. Like, you don't even know. And you're here for 2 weeks. You're going to want to be here all the time, because we've got some good peeps in here. And we try not to hover over your work too much. Try to let you do your own thing.
Yeah. And part-time would be so hard because there is so much going on. Like, you're either like kind of like all in or you're in the way. Yeah. So, yeah, but that's cool. How did the shoot go?
It went great. Yeah, it was my first time doing a shoot with him. Yeah, and it went well.
Hey, he's really good at what he does, man.
I'm interested to see the.
I was in there forever though.
Pictures.
Those guys were taking up a lot of my time.
Dang.
It's like, shit, man. How many photos we got to take? I mean, didn't you get the point across that I'm a handsome son of a bitch with the first photo? I mean,
was your shirt on?
Sometimes.
Okay. That's something that people
most of the time.
The noobs got to learn is just take the shirt off and everything looks better.
Take the shirt off on the first picture.
As long as you chased the pump the magic dragon.
So you don't need an excuse in a photo shoot. You don't need to be like, oh my god, it's hot.
No.
Take the shirt off.
Just the shirt should come off.
The excuse is the photo shoot. So you're just like, yeah. Pants optional, but frowned upon in certain districts. Haven't figured that part out yet myself, but tearaway
pants.
Yeah,
that way you get a good photo.
Adidas ones back in the day that had like the snaps.
Yeah, remember the whole. I don't. Will this basketball team still have those?
Yeah,
those full uniforms.
Yeah,
do they have the tearaway pants though? Because I haven't seen them do that in a very long time.
I haven't even really watched basketball, but yeah,
tearaway pants are underrated.
They're always fun to see. Just like,
But I mean, if you have to be if you're the guy that has to snap them back into place, though.
Oh yeah,
that would be a
forever.
pain. And then especially if they're basketball players, those things are going to be forever long.
There'd be a lot of snapping.
That's a lot of snaps to do.
Somebody's got some sore thumbs snapping those things together.
Their fingertips are all sore. But yeah, did you get some 10-minute walks in this morning, Mark?
I did, actually. I took a couple laps around Davis and then took a lap around the building before I got into here. Talked to my chubby little friend, Jesse Burdick. And it's always good to get those walks in. You know, when I don't get them in before I come here, I honestly I feel a little bit like more tired. Like I feel like, you know, I don't feel as energetic, I guess. So just getting out there for a little bit always seems to help.
That's good.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I had to go see my boy Dan at Movement Matters. My back, you know, yesterday, like right before we got on the podcast, it just like, totally
You bent over.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just, fuck. So I went over there. He did some work on me. It felt better. And then I went to Stephanie's parents' house for dinner. And then that's when like it hit again. I'm like, dude, what's going on? And it was interesting because like, you know, they care. So they're like, oh, do you want an ice pack? Do you want, you know, like ibuprofen? Do you want this? Go lay down. Like if I lay down, I'm never going to get back up again. Like I need to keep moving. So like I walked as much as I could. That felt better. And then I started doing like a really, really light, like, what are they called? Not the like 45-degree back raises or whatever, but I'm just standing. So with a little bit of weight, a little bit more weight. Then I started doing super light deadlifts, switched that up to doing lunges, and I felt way better. And it was just interesting because it's like, wait, your back hurts, but why are you doing all these exercises? I got in almost like a full like leg workout because I started doing squats and stuff.
Did you work out before that happened to you yesterday?
No.
Maybe you just got to work out before you do other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it just was weird, dude. Because like last week, everything felt good. We did some sprints, and that kind of woke everything up.
Yeah,
like I could feel like sore from that, which is, you know, it's kind of a bummer. Like sprinting leads to my back hurting. But then I got off a bench after doing just dumbbell presses, and that's really what tweaked it initially. But I was fine, and then all of a sudden, just like, ooh, like I can't move. Like I had the thought of like, dude, how am I going to do this podcast right now if I can't move? Like it was terrible.
Yeah. No, exercise, bro. I was talking to somebody about this who does jujitsu the other day. Every time that maybe I didn't work out as much as I typically do or something, or maybe the volume has come down because of jujitsu or something like that, always a little tick or a little injury happens. And it's like I've realized that, you know, working out and lifting is just like, it just helps it helps your body feel better. You might feel a little bit sore, but you don't have the typical pain that most people have. You know, because a lot of people are walking around with hip pain, constant knee pain, constant back pain. And I'm not talking about you here. I'm just talking about like the general population that was like, oh, my neck feels like this. My back feels like this. Well, if you don't lift, it's probably going to keep feeling like that.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know. It was really frustrating, but I'm just glad that I'm at a point right now where like I understand, like I can't just do nothing about it. You know, I got to keep pushing forward. I got to keep that movement going. So I think like the next phase, Mark had already told me in the past, like, hey, how about we just focus on getting better? But you know, of course I'm not going to listen the first time, but after this happening to me yesterday, I'm like, okay, I think it's time to like, okay, I'm not going to come into the powerlifting gym and try to powerlift every single day. Like, how about I just focus on my back and get better? Yeah. Cause and do all the stuff that I, you know, like I don't know how to do yoga and stuff like that, but whatever stretching I can do to help fix it, I think I got to really just focus on just that right now.
Yeah. Feel good in every single workout. Yeah.
So I don't know. You have like those Smooth Panther videos. Is that like a good start? Like,
sweet. Overton, you couldn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I need like, hey, stupid, do this. Like your back hurts, try that. And I know there's tons of information out there, but you know, like when I was trying to become a photographer, there's tons of photographers to learn from, but it wasn't until I found the one that made the most sense to me. Yeah. So I think that's kind of the same thing here, but you know, it's just a learning process still for me.
Yeah. Just if you do those videos, you shouldn't, like any movement that's there, you just never should really push yourself into it or push yourself deeper. Let gravity do the job. Like seriously, let gravity do the job. Because if you overdo something, then it'll feel kind of wonky for a few minutes. So just let your body do the work and you'll be fine.
Got it.
I can also put you in a Boston crab or a camel clutch.
Dude, a Boston crab would...
You guys try pro wrestling moves sometimes?
Kill me.
When I was a kid.
No, but in jiu-jitsu, you guys... like every once in a while, you're like, yo...
He's making him tap from a figure 4.
Put somebody in the sharpshooter.
Well, like some wrestlers that do jiu-jitsu, like they know some things already. So like it is possible to put people in like these weird body cranks and make them tap, not because of like a joint,
just because it
like,
friggin' hurts.
Yeah, you're just like crumpled up and your body's on top of each other. And yeah, those are wrestling moves. So
do you, once you become higher level and you get used to stuff, it's pretty rare to tap from something that hurts, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in practice, you might.
Yeah, like maybe pressure tapping is
kind of frowned upon.
Not even it's frowned upon. It can happen, but it just doesn't happen as much because you kind of know how to finagle your body underneath somebody else's pressure. So, yeah.
I remember sometimes like when they didn't have a choke and they would just give you a lot of pressure on your face and you're not used to that. It's like, holy shit. Like on your jaw or something.
Yeah, that's messed up if an upper belt does that to you, though. Like if an upper belt does that to a lower belt and like they get the chin.
Oh, yeah.
Like lower belts are, it's easy to be stupid because you think that your chin can stay there, but no, your jaw can break.
Yeah.
So
what about like a forearm straight to the nose? Just like,
yeah, that's you don't do that.
Oof.
You don't do that.
Good.
Like, you do that in UFC, but not like in competition. You can't just put your forearm in somebody's nose because they would tap, but that's also just an illegal thing to do. You actually have to choke them.
Makes me feel like I need to sneeze just thinking about it.
Me too, actually. My nose started to tickle. Why did that happen? Like really, my nose started to tickle hardcore after we did that.
Yeah, my eyes started watering and everything.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
So we got Grant. He's shuffling around. He's coming on in a second here.
Oh, cool.
I think there was a miscommunication about what time.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, he should be here any moment.
Any moment.
You get any lifting in yesterday or today?
No, like I said, so I wanted to come in early. That didn't happen. I went to bed way too late. So I'm like, okay, maybe sometime during the day, like like we've been training like midday. I'm like, that could happen, or I can just do it after work. And then that happened with my back and I couldn't move. So I'm like, okay, shit, I just need to go to the chiropractor. After that, like I got a pretty good leg pump after just doing lunges throughout the house, like, and then weighted lunges. So, I mean, technically, I guess I did get in a little bit of lifting, but nothing, I mean, I sweat for sure because it was pretty hot yesterday. So I got my heart rate up and stuff, but no lifting in the gym, like officially. But I would like that to change today.
It will change today.
Yeah.
It absolutely will.
Mm-hmm. Like, even if, like, I just want to, like I said, move around, like, I need to figure out, like, good, solid movements that aren't going to hurt me, but that are going to help build that area.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing about this gym, though. Like that, there's that back extension machine. That thing is a beauty.
Is that the one that, like, pushes you forward and you just...
Some of that reverse hyper action?
Ah, man, like, I still haven't been able to figure out the damn reverse hyper.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
I'm going to sound like the biggest bitch right now, and I'm okay with that. Whenever I grab hold, I do it, I get a headache instantly.
What?
It's so dumb, but if I do like super lightweight, then it's okay, but then I can't really, like, I don't get the extension.
Yeah.
So I feel a little bit better when I get on the GHR.
Or I call it GHR. Some people call it GHD.
I don't, whichever the case.
It don't matter.
Yeah. I'll do basically the same style movement with that.
Yeah.
But my legs are a little bit too long, so I ended up hitting like the machine itself. But that one I actually can feel the extension, but I can't feel the bottom portion where it like stretches out your lower back.
Pause. Are we talking about the Rogue GHR we have in the gym?
Yep. So you know how like you would normally get on to do hamstring whatevers. So I go from the other side and I grab the back where your feet go.
Oh, interesting.
And then I just go up and then down. That feels really good. Like my back will pop on that one too.
I think the reverse hyper sometimes can just put a lot of pressure on your like hips and stomach area. And so maybe that's what's making you feel like your head's going to blow off your shoulders.
Okay, cool. We got Grant.
He's coming on in. There he is.
Oh. Those supplements I see in the back.
Probably steroids back there.
No, those are books. What's on that TV?
Watching the stocks, maybe?
Yeah.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, my man. How's it going?
I got my little vegan lunch.
There we go. Yeah. Well, so have you been doing a vegan diet?
Well, yeah, I've been doing what I do, man. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time.
Well, you're staying in good shape, it looks like.
I'm carrying 10 pounds, dude. I don't know how to get rid of it.
We got to get you on that meat diet. That's what's missing.
You think that'll do it?
Oh yeah. I think it will help because it can help you to, add a little bit of muscle mass, and then we don't have to worry about the 10 pounds as much. If you make your lats really big and your arms really big, no one looks at your stomach anymore.
Yeah, but there's still like I weigh 180 pounds, bro. I'm 5'8". I shouldn't weigh 180. I should be like 160, right? 162, something like that.
Have you had abs before? Have you ever had your abs show pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, my abs look pretty good, dude. They're bad, right?
They do.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not bad, right?
Have you ever had them? Have you ever had your abs like pronounced like a fitness model?
Never, bro. Never. Come on. Stop.
I think we can do that. We can 10x that body.
I like it, man. I like it. Who's your sidekick there?
We got my boy Nsima over here, and we also have Andrew.
How you doing? Andrew's in the house. That's awesome,
Yep.
man. I'm going to go it alone today, guys. I'm going to take you guys on by myself, all right?
Oh,
Awesome.
Good. But we needed to actually talk to your wife because she runs the show over there, right?
No.
I'm just kidding, my man. Hey, man, it's really great to have you on the show. We really appreciate your time. There's a lot of stuff to ask you because, you have some unconventional thoughts. I hear you quite a bit talking about probably the main thing that I hear from you is when you talk about purchasing homes. I think a lot of adults, once people start to get out into the adult world, you hear how valuable it is to buy a house, what a great investment it is into your future, buying a home. So let's get your thoughts on that because I know that you're very much against it.
Yeah. So, look, I am against the concept that it's a dream, that it's actually a prayer. A lot of the things that are pitched to the American middle class they're prison concepts. It's a misinformation with the intention to imprison people for life. And I'm not a dramatist, but it's reality. If you just study the statistics in America, the banks win on a house deal more than any. You're going to pay the bank 4 or 5%. The banks are the great slave master. Hey, save your, leave it at the bank. Put your money in a retirement account, Wall Street. Like that's the winners in the deal. Like if you calculate the cost of a home, nobody does it on. I bought the house for $200. I sold it for $300. Okay. Yeah. But what about the interest that you paid for 10 years? 6% a year times 10 is 60%. So if you bought the house for $200 and you paid 60% to the bank, that means you paid $120,000 in interest to the bank. Where property taxes are 2% a year in some states, 1.8 in a maybe 75 blips of a point. Property taxes every year times 10, that's 75% in properties. Maintenance is 1% a year. That's 10%. You had to pay the real estate broker 6% to sell. The real estate broker is going to make more money on a deal that makes $100,000 than you did. But nobody does that. Nobody talks about the cost of painting, utilities, the cost of running, landscaping, the energy involved. Oh, by the way, the mobility that you lost, the mobility, when you lose mobility, you become like a tree. And so that is the great, I'm writing an article right now about the American. Is it really a dream? Come on, man. Anytime somebody starts talking about dreams, you know they're selling something. And this is a dream that costs a lot of money. The loss of mobility by itself is the biggest, to me, the biggest expense. I lost opportunity to move to another place or location to real money. Now, that being said, if I can buy $1,000 a month and rent for $1,700, I'm going to say it costs me more money to rent than it does to own. I pay $700 more in rent before I would buy a house.
So,
for all the reasons I just gave you. But what do I know, dude? What do I know? I'm just a little guy, that climbed out of the lower middle class and said, hey, man, all this stuff I'm being taught benefits them. It doesn't benefit me. I had an IRA when I was 20 years old. It was stupid, completely ridiculous.
Really?
I bought life insurance when I was 21. Completely ridiculous.
So this hits really close to home for me right now because I'm actually in the process of selling my first home to purchase my, forever home. I'm pretty sure you love that term too. But I guess my thought is, in the 2 years that I owned the first house, I did accrue a lot of equity, and there would have been no way that I could have saved or done anything to really come up with an extra, it's almost $80,000 in equity that I'm getting out of the house to put towards this new house. So what are your thoughts on somebody, like me, who I didn't have like a big investment to make, but because I did, I did pay the interest. I did pay, the loan broker, the realtor. I paid the bank all this interest, but in the end, I feel like I'm still coming out on top because I have this good chunk of change that I couldn't have gotten any other way, barring like starting my own company and doing that sort of thing.
How much did you put into that house 2 years ago?
Just like the initial sale was 264, so 264,000 at 4.75% APR, and so now it is at 250, and it is going to be selling for 330. Okay,
so if we just do the math on that, it looks like you made $66,000.
Mm-hmm.
That was quick math.
Okay, 330 less the 264 that you paid, right? No, the 264 was the debt.
That was
what did you pay for the house?
That was the initial price of the house.
Market.
No, sorry, it was 274. My bad. Sorry, I was like, wait, that's not right.
Yeah, 274, and you financed 264.
No. So I financed that whole 274, and then and then so now it's at 254.
Yeah, well, it's paid down, right?
Correct.
You paid that down.
Yes, absolutely.
That's not some gift. You paid the $20,000.
Correct.
So that's not a present. You paid for it.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
But what you're calculating is the 254 that you owe now. When you sell it, you're going to get 330.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay 6% in less than property taxes for 2 years. I mean, you had a little score. You had a little score in 2 years.
Yeah. And
I would serve your 70,000, and you go like or a fourplex, and you rent it to other people.
Okay.
Okay, that 74,000 is the 74,000 like a $300,000 piece of real estate. No, 74,000. You could buy yourself. You got $74,000 worth of equity. You could go buy yourself a fourplex. Where do you live?
Here in Sacramento, California.
Yeah, so you could go. One house is good than four times better. And I would rent those 4 properties to someone else. Let them pay the rent. Let them mow the grass. Let them clean the place up. Let them pay for your property taxes. And that's my point. Rent where you live and own and become a properties. Mm-hmm. Rent where you live. Rent the dream.
Would you basically say that we basically say for a lot of the middle class, they say 76% of America, works paycheck to paycheck. Is this mainly who you're speaking to when you're talking about this idea of just maybe renting a house instead of purchasing a house?
Yeah, exactly. Like there's nothing wrong with renting a house. Okay. Own real estate that pays you. I want to own the house and rent it to you guys.
Got it.
And you're going to get rich. I own 8,000 apartments today.
Oh my gosh.
At $1,500 a month. I have not had attention on houses, even though I've made money on houses. So I'm not telling people you can't make money on a house. You can lose money on a house. LeBron just bought a house for $52 million. I guarantee he loses money on that house.
Yeah.
He won't be the first man who lost money on a house. But hey, what does it matter? Most Americans aren't going to get a deal with a
Sure.
Okay, LeBron never needs to play basketball again. He's still going to get revenues from royalties. Most Americans don't have that. Once you're rich, buy a house. Warren Buffett never talks about his one home in Omaha, Nebraska that he bought. He talks about the investments he made in Coca-Cola. A house is a liability. Andrew, and he won't get lucky the next time. He just got lucky. He didn't do anything brilliant. Some fool 50 in his house is worth.
I'm curious about this.
The house he's going to live in forever. By the way, forever is a long damn time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back to the house that you guys grew up in, Mark, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in upstate New York.
When's the last time you've been to that house?
It's been 40 years probably, or 30 something years.
Go back to that house today. That was a dream for your parents.
Right.
That was your. You go back there today, you're like, man, this place is small.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Grant.
Right?
Yeah.
So the house forever. Your mom and dad probably bought that house thinking this is where we're going to finish our life. We're going to raise our kid. It's going to be unbelievable. We're going to be so happy. We're going to get our Uncle Matt and we're going to have our little dog Ruffy, and it's going to be fucking unbelievable. Life is going to be awesome. And they got fat. And they got bored with each other, and they don't travel anymore. Man, people should be traveling. They should be stuck in a house. Mm-hmm. So I personally would rather move every 2 or 3 years. I can't if I have a market for years. Anybody that bought pre-COVID, if you bought in January, you bought a house, and you ain't selling that house for a long time. If you bought in 2008, there's millions of people. This is what people aren't told about buying a house. Millions of people are still underwater from 2008. That's 12 years. They still can't break even on their house. Andrew just got lucky.
And then also, and then also, I also got a really good not interest rate, commission rate. The realtor that I used to buy the first house said that she would, cut me a deal for this next one. So everything, yeah, you're right. I did get lucky. I feel very, very fortunate and grateful. But my next question would be just if someone like me were to start renting, again, this is stuff that we've been told, so I'm happy that you're here to go against the grain, but aren't we just putting money towards someone else and something else, and we're not getting a return on that? At least if I...
No, you should become that guy. You should become that guy.
There you
That's
go.
The
Okay.
point.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
People go to Las Vegas, and what do? They buy a book, how to win at blackjack. They're so proud because they know when to hit a 16. What to do. And they bring their little freaking cheat card with them. Dude, you ought to be reading a book how to own a casino, not how to play a game.
Wow.
See, the difference is rather than buying a house, how could you own 50 houses and rent? You're trying to figure out how to make a good deal. I'm trying to tell you, hey, don't worry about where you live. Worry about where other people live and they pay you to live there. Just shift your attention.
Well, I'm curious, Grant, like for a lot of the audience, especially like the 20-somethings, right, who are told to buy a house, maybe they want to get into real estate, but they have a job or something else that they're doing. What avenues would you suggest people take? Because like, you know, becoming a real estate agent, of course, takes work and time. And that, I mean, if you want to do that, that's an option. But also, I mean, I know that you have Cardone Capital, which allows people to invest in real estate through you. Is that an avenue that individuals can take to get into, to like dip their feet in those waters? Like what would you do if you were like 25 right now?
100%. Being a real estate agent would not be one of the paths that I would suggest to people. Most real estate agents don't make any money at all, ever. Now there are, I mean, I work with some of the top real estate agents in the country that make, you know, these guys $8-9 million a year. But they are professionals. They are like they're selling to LeBron. You know, those are a half of 1% of the nation. Most real estate make what a flight attendant makes. No offense to you, money matters, and money matters. It doesn't matter until you need it, but once you need it, it matters a lot. And so I would tell people, not to one, either learn the game yourself. You do not need a college education to go buy real estate. You do not need a degree to go buy real estate, and you don't even need a license. What you need is, I need knowledge. Looking for with almost no money down, and then say no more. You don't need to be. You don't need to be have some business intelligence. You don't need an IQ. You don't need anything, dude. Anybody qualifies to buy real estate like I buy. But if you got a job and you're working a job and you don't have do this on the weekends or look, I wanted financial freedom so bad, bro. I would have done anything short of robbing. And if I thought I could have got away with robbing a bank, I'd have probably done that. But I knew that I'd had to go sleep with myself at night and say, hey, wait a minute. You don't need to rob a bank, bro. You need to be the bank. So the second thing that people can do, like, I have people that invest with me that have made millions and millions of dollars that have never even shopped a piece of real estate. What I did, and goes back to the casino thing that people probably make fun of me for, that you can't buy a casino and you can't be a bank. What I did was, rather than there's certain things I just don't like. Like, I don't like the big institutions, JP Morgans, the Morgan Stanleys, the Blackstones. I don't like them probably because I'm envious of them, just to be frankly honest. So sometimes I don't like Bell because he looks so good. You know, he's so pretty. I'm like, God dang, he spends too much time in the gym, man. But, you know, I want some of that. So sometimes I hate on the very one. But the Goldman Sachs and the JP Morgans and the Morgans, Merrill Lynch's, the Schwab's and all that, look, they took advantage of my mom. They never gave my mom a break, and it pissed me off. And one day I said, hey, I'm going to get even for the deal. In 2008, Barack Obama passed a law called the Jobs Act. And the Job Act basically allows me verbiage in there that got buried in the Jobs Act that said that a guy like me can now raise money from a guy like you. And all of a sudden that changed. This was 2012. It got in 14. He said I could raise money from accredited or non-accredited investors. And so about 2 years ago, I started raising money from regular, ordinary people. I've raised $400 million in 25 months. It bought $1.1 billion. And you're an equal partner with me in these deals, literally a partner in the deals. So I don't go to Morgan Stanley to get the money anymore. I go to my friends and say, let's me and you do the deal. I'll buy the deal with my money. You can buy as much of it as you want. Mark Bell can put in $10,000 or $1 million. And I'm going to run the deal. I have total control over the deal. I run the deal, pick the deal, buy the deal, get the funding for the deal, collect the rents, and then I distribute to our investors. And I did that, one, because it benefits Mark, and number two, because I don't have to deal with JP Morgan. And I could literally create as big as a JP or Morgan Stanley by going direct to investors. For those of you who don't have the time, the energy, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the confidence to go buy these, find a guy like me that's doing deals every day, putting his own risk, and partner with them. Well, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to build a big, massive real estate portfolio, and I'm going to actually sell it to the people using the JP Morgans and Morgan Stanleys. Those will be the people that actually buy these assets from me later.
You, one of the reasons why I got drawn to you in the first place is because I view you as the Ric Flair of the personal development crowd, and you do some stuff that would be viewed as like obnoxious, over the top, burning $100 bills on stage, coming out of your Humvee and cutting what I would call like a wrestling Vince McMahon style promo. Where does this kind of stuff come from? I've heard you say before that it should be everyone's goal to have haters. Why is this a belief that you attach to?
Because look, if you're not doing it, if nobody hates you, no, you're not doing anything. If you study great people, I've been inspired by great people my whole life, like whether Christ or Gandhi, or you name Martin Luther King, like John Kennedy, like these people that were so inspirational, man. You listen to the John Kennedy speech. I don't care who you are, what age, race is. You listen to the moon speech, dude, and you're going to be like, dog. You listen to Martin Luther King do the speech. Who's not inspired by the dream speech? Mm-hmm. It breaks all races. It breaks colors, division. Be really ignorant not to be inspired by that speech. So all these people have haters, man. If you look at, hey, what do all these people have in common? I mean, Jesus, man, it's so bad they put him on a cross. And what did he do? He's like, you know what? We're going to play this card out for a while. Right? See, I'm confident. Some people will find this offensive. I am a huge fan of Jesus Christ. Okay. Jesus Christ was a show off. Okay. He took 3 days up there. He's like, look, guys, it's going to be good, man. Don't waste the nails. And we're going to play this out. Okay. Y'all put me up here. You want to string me? You want to sword me? You want to cut me? Okay. Well, you know what? You're going to have to watch me here for 3 days. I'm getting all the TV time I can. Walking on waters, man, getting blind people to see, man, this is like, he didn't keep that quiet. He said, let the people know I did this. But then when they asked him who he was, he says, hey, man, I am. And you can do more than I did. So he was very inspirational in his messaging, but he didn't stay in a cave. Okay, even that. Look at it. He's, man, like lot of big acts right there, right? This, like Martin Luther, wouldn't know him, he wouldn't have marched. Got to share haters. I was saying in 2014, I'm like, if I wanted to become the president of the United States, I'd have to get half the country to hate me. I didn't say I'd have to get half the country to love me. I said I'd have to get half the country to hate me, because you cannot become a president. People hate me. So I promise you, Jeff Bezos will be in congressional hearings in the next 2 to 3 years. I said it right here on the Mark Bell Show. He will be in congressional hearings for having then they will break up Amazon. Ooh. That will happen in the next 2 to 3 years. He will have coming out of every corner, a rat hole. So you can just go down all the people that, Warren Buffett, the only guy I know that somehow has figured out how not to have anybody hate him. Because he's probably one of the greatest hucksters in the history of the world. He's everybody's grandfather.
Grant, what about this notion? Money, money isn't everything. Money can't buy happiness. I'm sure you hear this one all the time.
Yeah, dude. I did. People tell me this all the time. People that don't have any money give me all kind of advice on money. Money won't make you happy, bro. You ain't got any money, man. Money's not everything. It's because you have any money. Don't talk to me about money until you've had about a couple $100 million put away. Then you can give me all the advice you want on money. Then I'll listen to you. But until you have more money than I got, I don't need your advice. I already listened to those, and it held me back. By the way, money will not make you happy. I have enough to know. But it'll buy a watch. Okay, it'll get you a private room in a hospital enough money will actually get you access to your mother when you can't get into the hospital. Okay, enough money will get you out of jail. It'll get you a lawyer to defend yourself. Enough money will take care of your kids and put tennis shoes on them. Okay, money's not everything, but a Gulfstream 550. In fact, it's the only thing that'll buy one.
Your plane is faster than Ed Milet's, right? I heard you guys getting into it on a podcast before.
Oh my God, Ed Milet. That's so funny, dude. Ed bought a Falcon. He bought this 20, I think it's a 2000 or 1998 Falcon. It's got 3 engines on it. He's like, Grant, I got 3 engines. I said, okay. Shit, mine will run with 1. He says, my gas mileage in yours. Oh, okay. Like it was money. He's like, my pilot says my plane will go faster than yours. Okay.
Did you guys ever race yet?
No, we haven't raced yet,
I'm curious.
One day.
Because before the show started, or actually during the initial part of the show, Mark was talking about how, like, I think, you were worth 10 to 15 million by the time you were 45, and then you maybe settled a little bit, but then you found a way to push yourself to like the next level, even though you were already super successful. So I'm curious, if that's the case, what is it, or what was it at that point, right, where you were already super rich, according to everybody, like at least myself and Andrew, and probably, I don't know. What was it that allowed you to kind of get to that next level? What made you want to push there?
Yeah, that's a great question. First of all, I did not consider myself super rich at that time. I felt myself very susceptible and maybe I was probably worth 6 or 8 million at the end of 2008, 9, and 10. A lot of people oh my God, that's so much money. No, not really. Not when you a $60 million lawsuit in your face. You got a bank. The bank that you owe money to is asking for $50 million worth. And basically the banking system has failed. I got a baby on the way. I thought I had something. And then the next thing you know, dude, I thought I had made it. And 2008 comes. And the next thing you know, I'm like, oh my God. Like you being in the best health of your life and then finding out you got cancer or something. You're like, oh my God, man. I thought I was in good shape. So that's all relative, right? It's relative to what does it cost to keep funding my projects. And 2008 wasn't my idea. I wasn't part of the housing crisis. I didn't do any of those bad loans. But it affected me, and it affected the environment. COVID, I had nothing to do with COVID. It affected me when I couldn't come to my office, when the country got shut down. So the point of that story is that, like, people, you don't have money, you have enough money until you don't. Money doesn't matter until it does. Yeah. And then when your mama when you're at special surgery, bro, they only take one thing, money. in 2008, when that whole thing happened, I thought I was going to go bankrupt. And I had spent 20 years busting my ass to get in a situation I thought I was financially solvent. And then when the rug got pulled out from underneath me, I owned a home, sell it, had a bunch of equity tied up in the house, couldn't get my equity. Had my apartments couldn't sell. The market was frozen up. Businesses that I'd been busting my ass in half, cut in half overnight. Okay. Had nothing to do with me, dude, except one thing had something to do with me. I wasn't big enough. That's what I learned in 2008. I was not big enough to weather the tide going back out and everything back out with it. I did not have the muscle to swim against this tide, in this case, money, to swim against this swell that was pulling all these assets and fortunes, not just mine, but a lot of people. And a lot of people got buried in that deal. And I got hurt. And I promised myself this will happen to me again. The next time we have a crash, I'm going to be 10 times bigger. I'm going to have 10 times more debt. Who got help back then? And who got all the help this time? The big guys. Okay? This is a stack game, man. This is a stack game. This is a big casino we live on. Okay? The big guys and the big guys win. We're going through the biggest wealth redistribution in the history of the world right now. The little guy will get kicked. His ass will get kicked after COVID passes and gone. We're going to find out it was a whole big scam. And watch, the little guy, the American, the middle class will have less. Their wages will be less. Their wealth will be less. Okay? Their net worth will be less. Retirement accounts will be smaller. And the wealthy will get wealthier. 60 days into COVID, okay, the top 10% richest people in the world got like 50 times richer, while the rest got game, bro. It's a game. It's all stacked. And this time when this COVID thing came, man, I knew exactly what to do this time. That was the impetus between in the last 12 years was like, I'm never going to be in that situation again to let myself and my family down.
When you had your dad died when you were 10, I think you mentioned that you had a sibling die as well. And then you also pulled yourself through addiction. What are some things that you learned from these two losses of family members and also getting through an addiction? I think you said you were addicted to like any kind of drug that was put in front of you. So what are some things you learned being able to make it through some of those tough times? Yeah.
When I was 10 years old, other when I was 20, those were two really like major. You know, get punched in the face one time is one thing, man. Get hit a second time is like, oh. And by the time I was 20 years old, Mark, I was like, okay, I'm not going to live until I'm 25. Yeah. And so when you're starting death every day, I remember I was 11 years old and I'd go check on my mom because I was certain she was going to die.
Oh, man.
I got friends never lost anybody in their life. Their grandparents are still living. So, you know, I was a drug addict by the time I was 17, using drugs every day. It didn't matter what drug. You had a medicine cabinet, and I knew what was in it. You know, I'd go to your grandmother's house just to get the drugs out of her. Didn't matter what it was. I'd take it and I'd take the drugs out and figure out what they were later. That's the kind of drug addict I was.
How did you fall into that?
Started smoking weed with my brother and Russell and a guy named Brian. And I was, you know, I knew it for me at the time. I knew it was going to, this isn't a moral vindication about marijuana, but it was bad. It was the door for me. It was the, like it was door.
Yeah, it made it okay.
I started using weed, and then I started smoking hash, and then I started smoking whatever you'd give me, and then I started eating pills. And I was trying to escape, man. But mostly I was bored. like if I'd have been working out, man, and building muscle, maybe I wouldn't have. I was a baseball player. I wanted to be a baseball player, but baseball was only like 3 months of the year. I had to do 9 months. So I don't think drugs, I think it was a symptom of another problem. And by the way, I don't think it was about the loss of my brother and my dad. I think it was, at the end of the day, I was bored. I hated school. It was too slow for me. I could have done school. What is it? 12. I've done school in 6 years and known anything. Done summer school on me, weekends like the Chinese do. I should have done weekend, summer school. I'd have been out. I'd been 12 years old. I'd been finished with high school. Shit, I'd go for that deal.
What pulled you through the addiction?
My kids, one of my kids is doing sixth grade math right now. I said, I guarantee if you let me, I will get you through the entire 6th grade in 3 weeks.
What pulled you through addiction? Was it your mother or someone?
I went to treatment.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom kind of intervened on me, and she said, "Hey, don't even come here anymore." I'd overdosed 3 times, and somebody brought me back to life. And so my mom finally said, "Okay, done. I'm done with saving your life. Get out." And 30 days later, I was in a treatment center. I went to treatment, spent 28 days there, 28 days and $20,000, and came out. And I had a car. I was selling cars. The only job I could get was car sales. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to sell cars. And I hated selling cars. It'd be like you selling cars, Mark.
I would hate it for sure.
Right there. That's scary. Mark Bell, can you imagine Mark Bell selling cars? You want it or not?
That'd pretty much be it. Kind of the last question for the day is, how do I make more money, Grant? What you got for me?
Dude, look, Mark. The best way to make money is to invest in a business. You know that. And the second best way is to invest in a business that cash flows. So I know for everybody, like there's nobody watching this. It's a good investment. It has been around, tried and true, man, thousands of years. Buying real estate in a good location that cash flows, that's going to be around 15 years, 20 years. What city you live in?
Live in the Sacramento area. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate California, bro.
A lot of taxes out
here.
I hate California.
Sure. Yeah, I hate California from a real estate. You got water problems there. You got license regulation problems. You got landlord problems. The tenant's going to always beat you in court. They take you to court over and over. So, I California, and I lived there 25 years. I left California because money's important to me. And my charities are important to me. I've raised hundreds of millions of dollars to charities. I don't want to pay California that money. I'd rather save the 10 or 15 million bucks a year that it costs for me to live in California and give it to the charity. At least I know it's going to good. I don't know what it's going to, dude. How about broken streets and roads and airports that you're embarrassed to even walk through? So anyway, I would tell you, keep building your brand, bro. You're awesome. You need more products, though. You need more products, and then get those products making money. Invest the surplus in real estate with a guy like me. Partner with me. I'll make you more money in real estate than you can make in business.
I like it. Hey, thanks so much for your time.
Dude, I didn't know you did such a good show, though, bro. I didn't know you guys you got back there.
We got some shit going on over here. You got to make it out to Sacramento sometime, even though you hate California.
Yeah, no. Look, I come visit. You know what I tell people? I'm like, you should use California like a little brother or something. Right. Just beat it up. Just use it and leave.
I love it, man. Again, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Pleasure being with you.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
guys.
much.
Have a good one.
See you.
Thanks a lot.
We're gonna work on getting him shredded.
That's gonna be fun.
He's in good shape, though. He's in
Yeah.
really good shape.
Yeah. I sent him a bunch of information kind of a long time ago about like nutrition, and he just wrote back, "That's way too hard." It was pretty funny.
Oh,
Well, if he 10X's it, he'll have abs in 10 days.
Yeah, he could do that.
Yeah, he can get in shape super easily. But man, that episode in and of itself, that was very eye opening for, I guess, my situation and potentially your situation.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. This is like, and especially right now amidst this pandemic and everything that's going on with like interest rates or whatever, I want to figure out what I should do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think he pointed us in the right direction for what we should figure out, what we should learn. But yeah.
Oh, I think he gave some great information. And I think, for people that are listening that maybe don't have that much money, I think this just gives you something to work towards. Mm-hmm. Like you can't invest money that you don't have, but you could think about investing and you could have that kind of in the front of your mind. And rather than just saving money just for the sake of saving money, maybe you're saving money to potentially invest it down the road at some point. I mean, could you save, $20 a week, like you just whatever, like what sounds reasonable to you. Like it might not sound like anything, but just as we know from lifting that it does accumulate. We know from lifting, we know from our nutrition that when you continually make the correct decision, you are basically saving up. You're voting, you're moving towards your goal. And that these are things to think about when you're thinking about trying to make some sort of investment. And it's hard to know like what to invest in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's so obvious after the fact. I know friends that have missed out on like Starbucks and stuff like that because it just didn't. The story sounds funny now, but 15 years ago, 20 years ago, yeah, I'm gonna have a coffee shop on every corner. Like, yeah, right. We're gonna have more coffee shops than there are McDonald's. Yeah, good try. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, that shit ain't happening. And yeah, we're gonna overcharge. It'll be like $6 for a cup of coffee. You're like, get the hell out of here. No, people really like coffee that much. You're like, I don't think so.
It's just scary. Like I hate the even idea of gambling. Like I don't do casinos. I don't like any of that. I work pretty damn hard for my money. I don't want to just like chance it. And that's what investing feels like to me. So it's like really scary and daunting to think like, oh, it's not just like a table of blackjack. It's like you can invest a lot and then you're going to have to wait and you might go down, you might go up, and then you might sell, and then all of a sudden, boom, the stock skyrockets and then you're feeling like shit. So it's, man, that's a whole, investing is a HNL, it's on a whole nother level. Yeah.
It's something you got to really think about. And then you have to, whoever you may invest in, if it's not something just like apartment buildings or something, but if you're going to invest in somebody or a company, then you just need to talk to that person and is this person professional? Like, is this, are you investing, simply because you want to see the person do well? And it's like a friend, it's somebody that you know, or is it more serious? Are you really looking for like a return? And if you're looking for a return, that person better come to you with a really good plan. Mm-hmm. They better come to you with something that seems very convincing. A couple months ago, my wife and we talked to a guy who was talking about turning a place down in downtown Davis into like a bowling alley. And we're like, oh, it sounds kind of neat, but after talking to him, and we had Sean with us as well. Sean knows a ton about business and real estate. That's another thing, is arm yourself with somebody that knows what the hell's going on. You almost always have a friend within arm's reach that you can communicate with that at least knows something. And, having Sean there was helpful because he asked a lot of good questions. But as he asked those questions, it was very clear that this guy didn't really have. This guy was really big on bowling, which is cool. But I was like, I don't think people are that into, like, people go and they bowl for fun, and he was talking about how there's people that are real serious about it that'll want to come, and they'll get, they get frustrated when the lanes aren't open and it needs to be a certain way. And, once you start kind of thinking that way, then I can think about even just my own sport, powerlifting, you open up the floodgates, have a free gym, and like there's not that many people that train here. And the reason is like powerlifting is a niche thing. It's also really hard. It's hard to be consistent with it. It hurts, so when you're thinking about that, you're like, okay, well, this guy's really narrowing down his market because he wants to have a bowling alley that's set up more for him than it is for like families. And I would think that if we're going to try to make some dough off of this, we better have good food and we better have a place that's lively and fun and exciting rather than like a professional bowling alley.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it is very surprising even when you think about super training because, I mean, yeah, it is a powerlifting gym, right? But like, it's not only powerlifters that do train here. People like in general, people just train here, bodybuilders, etc. And yeah, the fact that when it was more open, I would have expected more people to take advantage of it. You don't need to pay, Right. So,
I mean, we have, we don't necessarily make it super easy to come here because like you may not know where we're at and stuff, but like we're on Google Maps and like we're fairly easy to find, and all you have to do to come here is just let us know that you're going to come. Pretty much, it's like the only rule. And then, when you do train here, you have to follow a couple of rules that we got, but there's not a lot of them. So I think the gym opens back up, I think, this weekend. Coming up. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's been open to staff for a little bit now, and it's been open to some teammates, but now we'll open it back up to the general public. So, hey, anybody listening, 855 Riverside Parkway, West Sacramento, California. From like 10 to 1, I think.
That's kind of reminiscent, though, what Andrew was just saying to me, like saying to us, though, like how investing, he mentioned it's kind of like gambling, right? But it seems like it's only like gambling when you don't know that much about it. Like if you spend as much time learning about it as like Grant has, it's not gambling anymore. Like if you don't know how to diet or lose weight, right? Trying to start a diet is like a gamble because you don't know where to start. You don't know which diets do. You don't know if you're going to lose weight. You don't know if you should eat 6 or 2 meals a day, right? In super training, it's a quick Google search away, but I've heard so many people say, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Right.
I would suggest that people don't invest in stuff that they either don't know anything about, which somebody might automatically think they don't know anything about investing, but I wouldn't really think that. I think if you wanted to, you can brush up on some easy information by reading a book or going on YouTube or something like that. But I would suggest not investing in something that you don't know anything about. But even more so than just that, I wouldn't invest in something that you can't find out stuff about that easily. Like you don't have a buddy or a friend, or you don't have a contact to reference. Stan Efferding comes to you and wants you to invest in the vertical diet, and he has an app and he's doing these different things. You don't know anything about fitness or nutrition. You don't know anything about apps. It's like it's probably not. Even though it might be exciting to you, whatever this, business venture might be, that doesn't sound great because then you don't have anybody you can double check. Hey, does this sound right to you? And someone else might say, yeah, you know what? I helped build out a fitness app, and what you're investing in sounds way better than when I lost 25 grand on this other one or whatever it might be. So, and also too, I think people always think that you need to have enormous amounts of money to invest in stuff. And I don't think that's true either. I think if you get to somebody at an early stage, what I would suggest to people is that whenever you have a friend or anybody who says, hey man, I got this really cool idea, I want to run it past you, I would say just why not leave the door open and say, hey, if you ever need extra help with that, you want a little financial support, I'd love to be able to talk about that with you too, because what's it hurt? It doesn't hurt anything. So what? They present something to you, you're not able to invest, or when they present something to you, you're like, yeah, man, I can invest, $1,500. They might be like, well, I was kind of hoping for more, but it's like, hey, this is a start, bro. Hey, let me invest this. And then also, if you really like the idea, you can, be somebody that helps to, support with ideas and creation. And that's what Quest Nutrition did. That's how, Tom Bilyeu became part of it. I believe that's how some of the story goes. I know Ron Penna was looking for, he didn't really want employees necessarily. He wanted he wanted partners. He wanted to partner up with people. And from what I've heard, it was kind of crazy. He would just be like, yeah, man, you want to work here? And people would be like, yeah. He'd be like, you want to be like part owner of their company? And a lot of people were scared. They didn't know what that meant. And so they said no. You know, they didn't know that without even like taking the next step, but that kind of sounds scary to them.
Yeah.
And so I think also what it meant was probably that you're going to work for free. So imagine that, you know, you might work here for free for 3 years. It could be 10 years. And we don't really know this protein bar company. We don't know what it's going to do, but we think it's going to be in every 7-Eleven in the country. And we think it's going to be at every airport and every supplement store. You're like, can I just get paid at least a little bit?
I would hate to be the person that said no.
I know.
Gosh. Gary Vee talks about saying no to Uber twice.
Yeah.
And then finally taking advantage of it the third time he was approached. But saying that he's like, I could have bought the jets by now.
I don't think I've heard Grant Cardone talk so clearly about his some of his philosophy there about homes, and it was great that you had a real world example to throw his way, where you guys were actually talking numbers and everything. I mean, I'm sure it has probably come up before, but I think what we just heard is like, you know, investment information that you either have to get from like one of his books or one of his courses, you know, which could be pretty expensive. So that was cool to hear. And then also he wasn't really against buying a house necessarily. He just wanted to make sure it's right for the individual, it's right for the person. And I think it makes sense. I think what he said was that, you know, you're being sold this dream that potentially is just that. It's just kind of a dream, and you don't have the ability to really turn that into maybe what you originally thought. You know, using your parents' original home, using my parents' original home, your parents' original home. It's like odds are like our parents don't live there anymore. Right. You know, so I mean that alone could potentially show you that maybe it's just not what you thought it was. That's all. It doesn't mean that it's worthless. It just means that you should probably understand that when you move into a home that you're going to move every couple of years, which is very common. Most people do. You know, I kind of just I just go with the flow with what my wife wants to do, but like, I don't care where we live or, you know, what house we're in, or, you know, we're getting our bathroom done right now. And, our house is pretty big. So we live on the other side of the house. I don't ever see this other bathroom. And she's like, did you go in there and check it out? She's like, it looks so cool. She's like, it's going to be amazing. And I was like, I haven't looked in there. I was like, I'll look in there when they finish it, and I'll be like, cool.
Yeah, that's so
this
funny.
This is a nice place to take a dump.
Yeah. That just instantly reminds me of Chris D'Elia was on someone else's podcast, and like he was just joking about how much money he makes and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, dude, how big is your house? Like, how many rooms do you have? And he's like, I don't know. It's like, that's how big it is. He's like, I can't count all the rooms. So it's just reminding me of that Mark saying like, I don't know. I don't really go to that bathroom. I don't know what's going on over there. House. Yeah. I don't go to the West Wing or whatever side that is.
I know it takes about 40 seconds to walk from one side to the other. I know that. I was testing that out one day. I was like, this house is really long. How long does this take? And just walking normal takes 40 seconds. That's a test you can try at home. Yeah.
Are you going to put another one of those awesome bidets in there?
Lay down a track right down the middle of it. Some turf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of them in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, the bathroom that we're in right now that doesn't have the electric toilet seat. So like when I go to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, I have to actually lift the lid myself.
You poor... How are you guys managing?
I'm going to throw my back out any day now.
Oh my God.
I mean, normally I just hit the button on the remote. It's like right on top of the remote. You just hit the button.
Dude, the sacrifices Mark's making to keep this podcast alive.
Does it warm itself, the toilet seat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I was talking to Angelo, and Angelo was asking me about, I don't know how we got talking about these seats, but he mentioned that he has one. He's like, oh, I have one of those things. I was like, oh, cool. And he said he had some, like one that he got off Amazon or something. I think he said it was like $20 or something. I was like, holy crap, that's amazing. And he goes, yeah. He goes, but the water's cold. I said, what? I was like, the water that you wash with is cold? He's like, yeah. And he goes, yours is like temperature controlled? I said, yeah, you can set like what temperature you want it to be, whether you want it to be like warm or you want it to be like hotter or whatever.
The water in the bowl?
The water that squirts your butthole.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then also the seat. The seat, you can make the seat warm. The air that dries you can make that warm. There are some drawbacks to this thing, though. I mean, it is a great invention, great product, but if you have that air blowing at the wrong time, then you're just getting a big old waft of poop smell right in your face.
Oh my God! Oof. Oof.
And this is how the whole wave thing came up. I'm sure Grant Cardone appreciates us talking so much about poop on the podcast that he was on. Can't wait to send it to him. But I was on the toilet the other day, and I had like multiple waves hit me on the toilet all in one sitting.
That's what I call the 1.5 wave.
Is that a magnesium heavy day, by the way?
Yeah, it might have been.
Probably.
So I came out of the bathroom and I told Andy, I was like, I just got hit by 3 waves at once. She's like, it doesn't work that way. And I was like, well, what do you mean? She's like, well, each wave has to be like separate from each other. And then she said that she's like, you have to like get done, clean up. She's like, I know what you talk about on the show.
She listens now.
Yeah. She's like, I know what you talk about on the show. And she's like, basically telling me how my own wave theory goes. But it was kind of funny because she like laid down all the rules for it. She's like, you got to be cleaned up. You got to exit the bathroom. She's like, and then she's like, that's not even enough. But the real start of the next wave is when you go to do something else, because that signifies that you thought you were in the clear. Like I thought this was over. I did my business. I cleaned up, and then you just go to make a cup of coffee, or you go to sit down and do some emails, and you're like, oh, I got to go again.
Just like gender, the wave is a spectrum. Let me explain. Like, I get what Andy's saying there. But I feel like a wave
still has to go to a board.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I'm glad Andy's speaking up for us, because we now have a voice that can go to the committee to help put this in legislation.
Yeah. No,
but I want to hear this counter.
Yeah, because me and you have definitely had this experience. You're pooping
together.
Done. You get up. Maybe you haven't even cleaned yet, but then the drop happens, and then it's like, oh, I didn't even realize. So in my head, because of how I feel, like I thought I was done, but that other wave hits, and then I got to go. So I don't even have to leave the stall. I thought I was done, but I wasn't. So there's a second wave.
So if you identify as being done,
as being done. Okay. You see? Yes.
That's 2020.
This is 2020 wave theory.
Yeah.
I would say, if you got off the toilet, that's pretty good.
Yeah. The other day,
if you stayed on the toilet, you just kept going. Think about throwing up, right? So you throw up, like, you'll say, I threw up 3 times last night. But it's usually not like it's you're not in the bathroom the whole time. Usually you puke, you go to lay back down, you get up, puke again, right? So I puked 3 times last night. If we relate the poop to puke,
so I
think we need a time period between waves. I think that's what's going to fix everything.
It could, yeah.
Because sometimes
heals all wounds.
Because go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because my thing was like, I had texted you guys. I'm like, I had 1.5 waves this morning. So in my opinion, that's when you're done. Clean up. You haven't gotten up, but then all of a sudden now it's like, oh, there it is again. And then you're now pooping on top of the toilet paper that you used. That's what I would consider a half wave, because you didn't get up, but you definitely cleaned up because you were done.
We need to have a Hootenanny podcast about this so the audience can weigh in.
Yeah. Andrew, but how long did it take until you had that half wave? I'm just curious. Think about the time.
Well, okay, so you're done, and then the time it takes to wipe, I don't know. Used a wipe itself also, so not that much time. I don't know, a minute. I don't know. I haven't clocked my speed when it comes to wiping.
I see that for a reason. We're in the modern age. people have phones. Majority of people, you're on the toilet, you finish up. But that video has like 4 or 5 minutes left. So you're just chilling. You're like, I'll wipe my butt afterwards. Video finishes. You get up, boom, wave hits, right? So like, you know, this is what I'm saying. I feel like there has to be, we need to dictate what is the time of which you finish the first wave to when a second wave would count. Is it like 1 minute? You think you're done, but 1 minute later wave hits? Would that be a second wave?
I think there has to be a descent from cheek to toilet seat. Like
I think it
has to be raised.
Yeah, okay. For me, it's the inconvenience. You know, it's like
the worst.
Yeah, you were done. You thought you were done. You got out of the bathroom. You put your clothes back the way they were and everything, and you think everything's all good to go, and you're just walking out of there, and then all of a sudden another wave hits. That's, to me, I think that's how I define my waves.
Yeah.
You know, but different people have different waves. It's 2020, you know.
It's the Wild
We
West.
got to be open. We got to be open to the fact that people are going to, have different buttholes.
We can't give participation trophies for second waves, though.
That's true.
We need a wave theory. We literally need to like dictate a wave theory.
They're like, there he is. There's a guy who invented wave theory. Yo, that's Nsima. That's the dude who has the wave
theory. If anyone's
theory.
inventing wave theory, it's Andrew Zaragoza over here.
Yeah,
I think he has the most experience and the most.
He taught me how to run. Taught me how to run when you got to take a shit. Your knees have to be bent.
Yes.
Actually, that's great.
It helps.
If
you stiffen out the kneecaps, you're done.
It's dangerous. Nope. That's
and this is why we don't have as much money as Grant Cardone.
And I was going to say,
because we literally talk shit.
If anyone's curious why, like, I don't know, how come they don't get the Rock on? It's like, well, funny thing.
Here we go.
This is why we can't have nice guests.
This is true. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Nah, you gotta have some locker room talking here and there, right?
Damn it.
It happens.
Yep.
All right, let's get this thing out of here, huh?
All right. Thank you, everybody, for checking out today's episode. Thank you to Piedmontese for sponsoring this episode. For more information on them, please check the iTunes show notes and the YouTube and Facebook descriptions. Please make sure you follow the podcast at Mark Bell's Power Project on Instagram, at MB Power Project on Twitter. My Instagram is at I am Andrew Z. Nsima, where are you at?
At Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube, and Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter. Mark?
Peeps, make sure you go follow Grant Cardone on Instagram at least. He's got a lot of great videos on YouTube as well. I think there's, he has fun. He's over the top. You might think he's obnoxious, but I think that there's still a lot of great things to learn from the guy. I personally don't think he's obnoxious. I think he's fun. I'm at Mark Smelly Bell. Strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch you all later.